So you want to change your pickups, you want to change your pickguard, you want to change your tuning machines. There's a lot of things you can change, but are they upgrades or are they mods? Today we're going to talk about that in great detail, starting right now. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. My name is Chris and you are watching The 11th Fret. Thank you guys so much for coming back and sticking with me. I know it's been a little while and I've had some stuff going on and I can't really communicate that because my channel's young and there's not a good platform for me to explain why my absence has been so. Long story short, there's just been some personal stuff coming up in my life between illnesses with friends and family members and, just so much stuff where my support was needed in other areas. So I do appreciate you guys coming back and sticking with me. It's been hard to record these videos when I don't really have all the kinks ironed out yet. But that said, today what we're going to cover is something that has been a little bit of an annoyance for me, something that's just kind of gotten under my skin, something that I see all the time on used classified sites and even on like Reverb and eBay is a guitar that's listed with upgrades. What is an upgrade? What is a modification? Is it a modification or is it an upgrade? And I mean, maybe they're the same thing. I don't know. We're going to talk about that today. You're going to comment below, let me know, change my perspective on the matter. But I think I've got all the kinks worked out here and I want to explain them to you. First and foremost, what is an upgrade? Well, an upgrade is something where you are putting in better parts, making the guitar better than it was overall. And in some cases, an upgrade is making a guitar better for you. And that's a key phrase right there, is for you. So say you have like a Fender Stratocaster and you replace the pickups from stock to, I don't know, some like a Seymour Duncan set. There's nothing wrong with Seymour Duncan pickups. I love them to pieces. But is that guitar going to be worth more because you've done that to this guitar? Well, that all depends. It depends on what the guitar is. I mean, yeah, I said Fender Stratocaster, but which Fender Stratocaster? There's so many different variations of it, right? I mean, we got our made in Koreas, we've got our made in Japans, we've got made in Mexico, we got made in USA, and then we got the Squire lines. Actually, there is a made in China Fender Stratocaster from the Modern Player series, or the former Modern Player series. But there is also like made in Indonesia, made in India from the Squire line. So there's a lot of variation of the actual trademark Stratocaster, right? Well, yeah, so if I'm going to replace the pickups on, like, say, a Fender American Standard Stratocaster from 1996, for example, is that an upgrade if I take the stock pickups out and I put in Seymour Duncans, or am I actually doing harm to the guitar overall in the long run? I would actually say that I've modified the guitar. I have not upgraded it. Now that term is definitely based around personal bias. It depends on who owns a guitar. Is this guitar ever going to leave your hands? And are you doing this for you? Is this making the guitar better overall? And in which case, yeah, it would be an upgrade. You could say it was an upgrade because it is a better instrument for you. It's suiting your needs. It fits your amp better. Your pedals sound great with it as compared to the old pickups. But in the long run, after you have expired from this earth and this guitar is left behind and is now vintage, possibly even collectible, well, guess what? It's been modified. And what happens to vintage guitars that have been modified is they plummet in value. Do they not? They absolutely do. They almost always do. Go into any guitar store that sells vintage gear. Look on Reverb, look on eBay, and see the pros describe vintage gear. And one of the first things they'll point out is that it's either all original or that there's been some modifications done to it. And the modifications can be something as small as strap buttons. It could be obviously the pick guard, it could be pickups, it could be tuning machines, it could be any number of things. Now, granted, modifications can need to happen for a lot of reasons. One of the biggest reasons is that it broke. So the pickups might have failed, or the strap button may have come loose and the screw has fallen out. It's totally stripped out of the body. That happens, and you have to make some changes to make it happen. So in some cases, a modification could happen, which in the long run, again, it will hurt the value of the vintage instrument if it's not immaculate as it ages. But all that aside, Every instrument should be played and loved. Should it not? Yeah, absolutely. It should be definitely played and loved. With that in mind, that's where things kind of become a little bit of a gray area. That's where things start to get a little murky. And I think the term upgrade gets misused more than it is used appropriately.
Please say the name of the person you wish to call.
Upgrade.
There are 9,726 listings for upgrade.
And this is in reference to when people sell their used gear on the internet, whether it is places like OfferUp, Reverb, eBay, Craigslist. It could be any number of places that people are doing this. And one of the things that drives me crazy is when people swap out the pickups and say it's been upgraded to new pickups. Has it been upgraded?
Upgrade.
I don't know. And that's the thing, is were the original pickups bad? No, they weren't bad unless they were dead, but they weren't bad. They just weren't for you. They weren't for that person, or in their mind, they thought they were bad because they were stock. Well, I got a news flash for everybody who's watching this, is that just because it is stock does not make it bad. You want to beg to differ on this one? Well, here's the thing. If you look at the original Gibson PAF humbucker, that was not a paid upgrade. That was a stock humbucker. Go look up the prices on those today. Go look up the guitars that those came in and see if those pickups had been replaced and watch what happens to the value of them. Now let's also talk about the 1962 Stratocaster pickups. Those were stock too, but everybody wants them, right? Again, go look them up. Go on the internet, look up Reverb, look up eBay, see if there's any available today, and just look at the prices of them. They were stock pickups. Were they bad? Absolutely not. They changed and defined a music industry. They changed rock and roll. They changed blues. They changed jazz. They changed R&B. They changed hip hop. They changed so many things. And they were stock pickups. So they really weren't bad after all, right? So your stock pickups are not necessarily bad. You're just not happy because you're not getting the sounds you want out of them. You're not maybe playing them right. You're not playing your instrument correctly. I'll tell you what, if any iconic guitar player came out from the grave, let's just say that, I don't know, let's name off a couple iconic ones that most people will rattle off the top of their head today. We can say Stevie Ray Vaughan. That's an easy one, right? Say he comes back from the grave and grabs your Stratocaster, and there's nothing modified in it whatsoever. It's all stock. Would you listen to it and go, oh my God, those pickups sound horrible? Or are you going to marvel in amazement and go, oh my God, Stevie Ray Vaughan is playing amazing for being a dead guy on this Stratocaster, and it sounds just like him? Well, chances are you're going to say it sounds just like him. I know it's a far-fetched example. I could also say Eddie Van Halen too. I could say, he's going to grab any old Charvel off the wall and make it sound like Eddie Van Halen, because that's what happens. Our fingers tend to make more sense to our tone more than the pickups. Now the pickups, yeah, they do shape your sound. I am a fan of lower output pickups. It happens. I modify my pickups all the time. I actually have a video on my channel where I feature tone hatch pickups, and I love tone hatch pickups. I think they sound outstanding. I still do. I'm not sponsored by them in any way, but I stand behind my statement that I think tone hatch is one of the best values out there. And I also stand behind the idea that you can modify your guitar however you want, based upon you. If this is your guitar, that's up to you. Leo Fender's original vision for the Stratocaster and the Telecaster was that everything was supposed to be modular and replaceable. He wanted it to be that way. He wanted you to wear out your neck and then just buy a new neck and throw it on there. But these days we get all freaky about that, and we don't ever do that because it has to be original, or else it's not worth what it's worth. So again, modified or
upgrade.
I don't know. Let's go look at another example. Another example might be like a Squier Affinity Series Stratocaster. I love those guitars. They actually are pretty awesome. It's a thinner body. The electronics are a little subpar for my liking, but everything can be changed. Everything can be modified as needed. And honestly, I don't know if they will get better with age, and if people are going to say, oh my gosh, like in 50 years, like look at that, there's an Affinity Series Stratocaster. They may. I'm not going to discount that. It might happen. I mean, there have been Squiers that have come up again from the past that people are like,
Those were the really, really good Squires.
and people pay good money for them. It happens. I have a Fender Squire series, actually a couple of them back there, and I love them to pieces. Back then, no one liked them. They all thought they were garbage. They're not. But in those guitars, to me, I have upgraded them because I've put better potentiometers in them. I've put better tone caps in them. I have put a better switch in them. I have replaced the tuning machines from those economy style tuning machines to Hipshots. I have put better pickups into them versus the cheap ceramics that were in there at one point with the really, really thin 22 gauge wires that were attached to them. I have put like tone hatches in them, or who's in my other Telecaster. I think Planet Tone is in my Squire Series Telecaster. And so in those examples, I think I've upgraded those guitars. Now, are they original? No. And have I maybe killed the used value on them in the long run? Possibly. It's definitely a possibility. Who knows what's in store 20, 30, 40 years from now? Are people going to say, is that all stock? Is that, oh no, it's not all stock. It may happen. But honestly, I don't care. I really don't care, because I have modified that guitar to be something that speaks for me and only for me. And when I go to sell it, if I go to sell it, which I won't, but if I ever go to sell it, I would never say that it's upgraded. I would say it's been modified with X, Y, and Z, because the term upgraded is almost not even, I don't know, real when it comes to guitars, especially as they age. You never see a vintage guitar that says upgraded. It just,
Upgrade.
it ruins its value. But again, who knows? Because guitars from the 50s and 60s and 70s and even 80s now, God forbid, but even the 80s guitars are being regarded as vintage, and people are not looking for them to have all these crazy mods done to them unless they were iconic mods that were done by a specific luthier or a specific guitar tech that was working for this iconic guitar player. Like say you got a Fender Stratocaster that was like a 1982 Fender Strat, and it was modded by Stevie Ray Vaughan's guitar tech. I mean, I think you got some value right there. But for the most part, if it's just some dude in his bedroom throwing the Strat on his bed and making a couple wire tweaks, not really. So again, upgraded versus modded. What's the difference? Is there a difference? I don't know. Let me know in the comments what you think about this one, because
Upgrade.
it's something that really gets under my skin over time, and I just hate the mix-up of the words. So again, modded.
Upgrade.
What's the difference? Let me know in the comments what your thoughts are on it. What is out there also that drives you crazy when you're browsing for used listings? Do you ever browse for used listings? And what drives you crazy as you do it? Is it people who say things are new when they're clearly not? Is this something where people might actually say it's a no-name brand when they're actually hiding the crappy brand that it really is? There could be 1,000 things. My favorite is when people overestimate how much the guitar is worth, and it happens more often than not. And that's an innocent mistake. I mean, it could be a deliberate thing, but I try and assume positive intent and just believe that it's an innocent mistake by someone who knows nothing about guitars and found it in their closet from their ex-husband or their child who moved away and never learned to play. There's a lot of reasons. Or they won it in a raffle and thought it's worth way more than it is. Again, tons of reasons. So again, let me know in the comments what your thoughts are, because I'm really curious to know how you have been browsing used websites and what drives you crazy out there. So again, everybody, thanks for coming back. I really appreciate you guys returning. Sorry again for not being on it when it comes to new videos. I've just been so busy with personal stuff that this has kind of been pushed to the back burner. But all that said and done, make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit the bell notification to be notified when I upload new content, and also like and share this video to let others know that, hey, this exists. This is a real thing. This channel is growing, and this channel is going to be giving away some stuff very, very soon. Just make sure you hit that subscribe button and the bell notification to be notified when that happens, because you don't want to miss out. Thank you guys so much. Appreciate you guys. My name is Chris. You've been watching The 11th Fret. Take it easy.